On today's Locked On Thunder podcast, we're going to dive into the Thunder making their first trade of the season. Also, waiving Gabriel Deck, Josh Giddey comes out and wins another Rookie of the Year award. And how are the Thunder doing so far in their reverse standings? All of that and more coming up on today's Locked On Thunder on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day.
Locked On Thunder, your daily Oklahoma City Thunder podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get it going on the Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. I am your host, Rylan Stiles. You can follow me on Twitter at Rylan_Stiles. Follow the show on Twitter at LOThunderPod. Email the show, LOThunderPod@gmail.com. On today's show, brought to you by TrueBill, we're going to dive into Gabriel Deck being waived, the first trade of the season, COVID protocol update for the Thunder, and it's award season right now for the Oklahoma City Thunder as Josh Giddey bags another Rookie of the Month award. Gabriel Deck is finally free by doing it right now. The show is again brought to you by TrueBill. TrueBill is a amazing app that helps you save money by helping you identify and stop paying for the subscriptions you don't want to keep or whatever anymore. And so TrueBill can help you save money by canceling subscriptions you do not want or need any longer. But Gabriel Deck is free. His camp has made a mess and has been very vocal on Twitter about how they wanted Gabriel Deck out of Oklahoma City with the hashtag #FreeDeck on Twitter after every game here recently, and he's finally gone. The Thunder trade with the Jazz to get a player back that they waive, and they take on a 2028 second-round pick to do the Jazz a huge favor by freeing up a roster spot for both teams in this trade and also saving the Jazz a ton of money. In this trade also, Gabriel Deck was waived to make the trade go through, and of course, just to free up another roster spot for the Thunder, they waive Gabriel Deck. So Deck's a free agent. Who knows what his future holds? Best of luck to him. But this was a move that never made sense from the beginning. And it will really never make sense. We're never going to get the full story on Gabriel Deck and the Oklahoma City Thunder because if this story is ever told, it'll be told by only one side. The Thunder are not going to waste time or energy telling what actually happened with Deck. This will all be from Deck's camp. If the story ever leaks out, it's probably going to just fade away and never be brought up again after this week. But it was just a weird signing. It was a move to simply get the Thunder back to the salary cap floor last season. But why? Why, number one, sign Gabriel Deck to get the salary cap floor whenever you had to jump through all those hoops to clear him through the COVID protocols and try really hard? Remember how long it was going on for. They just could not get him on the floor because of these health and safety protocols. You bring him over from overseas and hardly play him. Hardly play him last year, hardly play him this year. And why agree to come back whenever this deal could have been nixed easily in the offseason? And there was that report that he was going to go back to overseas basketball this offseason, and then he's back. It's just makes no sense. He's a 26-year-old guy that is a good basketball player, that plays that throwback style that does not really fit what the Thunder are trying to do, both timeline-wise, both play style-wise, and he has no real future in the NBA, at least not for the Thunder. It didn't make any sense. It didn't that day. It doesn't today. And all of this drama for what? For 56 minutes. For 56 minutes, you lose Josh Giddey's ability to wear number 6, which was going to be his number had he not had the Deck spot taking up number 6. So maybe Josh changes his number this offseason. Maybe he doesn't, but nonetheless, that doesn't really matter. And also, you got some bad press out of this. Now, again, bad press is subjective. How important is the bad press that you got from Gabriel Deck's Twitter stands saying #FreeDeck and talking about how betrayed they are by the Thunder, and how much does this hinder future relationships with the Thunder signing overseas talents? I think that it might impact if Deck's agent ever has another player, but other than that, it doesn't really matter. So still, I mean, this was a roster spot that never made sense, a roster spot that had no production, a roster spot that didn't matter at all. And it's just weird. It's weird because you would have gotten that 2028 second round pick no matter what. You got that pick for cutting the guy you got from the Jazz. in that deal. So people try to twist this into, oh my gosh, Sam Presti is so amazing that he was able to cut Deck and get a second round pick to do it. No, I mean, you would have been able to make that trade easy, the same way, even if you cut Deck today or tomorrow or last month or this off season, whenever, you'd have still had the roster spot there to go and trade for this player. So it's weird. I don't get it. Gabriel Deck's fan base is very fiery, very passionate. I hope that they, at him and they have success moving forward. I will see if he stays in the NBA or if he goes back overseas. But weird signing, right? Weird signing. What does this mean, though, with the Thunder now having an open roster spot? What happens next? And a lot of you are clamoring for Aaron Wiggins' contract to get converted, but I understand that. I have been a huge proponent of Aaron Wiggins and his deal, for the longest of times since Summer League to get converted to a full-time NBA deal. He's a really good player. My feelings on Wiggins. He's going to be a player that translates and can duplicate the success for a long, long time in this league. But I would not look for that to happen anytime soon. I have sources on this situation that have made it pretty clear that the Thunder are going to go into the trade deadline and they are going to have this extra roster spot to play with. They can do a 2-for-1 deal. They can take on more money. They're well below the salary cap floor. They're going to be able to operate $23 million under the salary cap floor and have an open roster spot for 2-for-1 deals at this deadline to take on bad money and get back really good picks at the deadline. And we all know how Sam Presti loves his picks. So even though there's an open roster spot and a need to convert Aaron Wiggins to a full-time NBA deal, and they want to do that by the Thunder, it does not make sense to do that prior to the trade deadline. So do not wait with bated breath for the Twitter notifications that the Thunder have officially signed Wiggins. That will not happen particularly soon, considering the deadline is still a month away. So look out for that whenever it does actually happen. And just know the trade deadline will be pretty wild, pretty fun. So buckle up and let's have some fun here in about a month. We'll talk more about those trade rumors and things like that in coming podcasts. But a great time in Thunderland as they finally can end the Gabriel Deck saga that plagued them for all of probably 20 games or however long it's been with Gabriel Deck. But nonetheless, it's over. They got a 2028 second-round pick. Usually second-round picks are nothing, but hey, this organization has a track record of drafting pretty well in the second round. So it can be very valuable in that aspect. But coming up, we're going to talk about the fact of Josh Giddey winning his second Western Conference Rookie of the Month, SGA nominated for Player of the Month in the Western Conference, and so much more. But I do want to tell you right now about our good friends over at TrueBill. TrueBill is a fantastic and amazing app, and it's going to help you save money. Do you want to know why free trials renew without your consent? It's a business scam. It gets you out of your money. So do not let these greedy corporations pocket away your money. Download TrueBill and take control of your subscriptions. TrueBill is a new app that helps you identify stop and pay for subscriptions that you don't want, need, or even forgot about. On average, people save $720 per year on TrueBill because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel. TrueBill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts, and TrueBill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. And TrueBill is your concierge that'll help you cancel all those different platforms so you do not have to. I love TrueBill because, again, it's so easy to forget you signed up for a free trial, for you signed up for a test period, and then all of a sudden, months down the line, you find out, hey, I'm losing $5 a month on nothing, on something I'm not even using anymore. TrueBill helps you identify that faster and save you your money. Just take it from Matthew B., who says, quote, in a matter of seconds, I saved $660 in a year on my DirecTV bill for the year, saved $120 for the year on my SiriusXM bill, and saved $840 for the year on my car insurance, unquote. TrueBill has over 2 million users and it helps them save $100 million. So do not fall for subscription scams any longer. Start canceling today at TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. That's TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA, TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA, and it could save you thousands of dollars at TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, we're back on the Locked On Thunder podcast, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. Thank you for making Locked On Thunder your first listen every single day, every single morning. We're here for you talking Thunder basketball. So thank you again on that front. You can subscribe for free across all platforms, including the platform of YouTube. But for your second listen of the day, when this podcast is over, go check out Locked On Now. Locked On Now is a nightly recap of every NBA game with analysis from our local experts. Locked On NBA has you covered on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and even on YouTube on the Locked On NBA YouTube channel. It's the Locked On Now podcast again. Recaps of every game from our local experts. No one else in the world can do that the way the Locked On Podcast Network can do that. So let's get back into the show today. Let's start with Josh Giddey, who wins December Rookie of the Month, the back-to-back winner, the 19-year-old Josh Giddey. He is the youngest player to ever record a triple-double. He had a double-double without even scoring a point. He is incredible. This month, he averaged 11 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game. The last and only Thunder player to win 2 Rookie of the Months in his rookie season was, of course, Russell Westbrook. So some great track records there with the Thunder and Rookies of the Month awards. Now, will this lead to a Rookie of the Year award? I don't think so, but there's still a long ways to go. I mean, Evan Mobley looks like a slam dunk for the Rookie of the Year, but so much can change as you see in the East. Mobley won month 1, but then Franz Wagner won month 2. So Josh Giddey's also so far the only rookie to win 2 Rookie of the Year awards. Could he go wire to wire in the Western Conference was the big conversation after this award was announced. It's interesting, right? But I think eventually Giddey will lose, quote unquote, lose a Rookie of the Month award. I think it'll get at least one more. I do. But I also believe that friends, I should say Davion Mitchell will likely get some love here, especially as the Kings make their playoff run kind of legitimate, right? As they get closer to realizing their playoff streak snapped. I think that Mitchell could sneak in and win one. I think that the media loves Şengün. He could maybe win one. And then, of course, Jalen Green is like a human highlight reel. So it only takes a good 4-week stretch from him to go off and win the award as well. But I'll say it's the possibility of Josh Giddey winning Rookie of the Month, wire to wire in the Western Conference. It's not zero. It is not zero. It is, I'd say, about 65-70% chance it does happen. But I can't go all the way there because of the fact that we just mentioned there with all the candidates that are lining the, of course, Western Conference. But you've already seen it change hands in the East. It has not changed hands yet in the West. And on that note, as Josh Giddey gets another Rookie of the Month award, SGA was able to go out there and get a nomination for Western Conference Player of the Month award, nominated with Steph Curry, and of course, Davion Mitchell actually won the award. I think that when you look at this team, the future is just so bright. Chris Finch said today, the Wolves head coach, before he took on the Thunder, that Josh Giddey has LaMelo Ball and Luka Doncic in him. Folks, if you've got somebody who's a combination of LaMelo Ball and Luka Doncic, you've got a really, really good player. And we know what SGA is capable of. We know what SGA can accomplish. And so in this season, the season that is not littered with wins and is not littered with a ton of success, right? You're sitting right now, 5th in the reverse standings. You've seen SGA win his first ever Player of the Week award. You've seen Josh Giddey win both Western Conference Rookie of the Month awards so far. And then SGA turns around and is nominated for a Player of the Month award for the Western Conference with the elites like Steph Curry, Davion Mitchell, etc. So the future is extremely bright for the Thunder. I am excited to see what this pairing can do and how this pairing develops and grows. Because there's going to be some bumps in the road, obviously. But by all accounts, each player wants to make it work. Each player wants to see how to adapt their games to play off each other better. And how does that look in 2 years and 3 years? How does that look next year, right? How does it look after the All-Star break, for example, as kind of a marker in the season to look forward to? Like, how does it continue to grow and shape and take form with each other as you have 2 guys who are capable of being a point guard in this league? I think that the bottom line, though, is you've got 2 blue chip prospects. You've got 2 blue chip players that are pretty high on the pecking order of valuable assets across the league. On top of having Lou Dort, on top of having some great rotational fits like Jerry and Aaron Wiggins and the rest of the crew. This is a really nice roster, a really good foundation for the future of this team, the future of this rebuild. And these awards kind of cement that and kind of serve as a reminder of how good that Sam Presti did. Because when you think of this draft, obviously, you wanted Cade Cunningham, obviously. You'd like to have Evan Mobley right now, Scotty Barnes right now, whoever is your cup of tea right now. But given the players available at 6, given the players available at 18, given the players available in the second round, Sam Presti could not have done any better than he did whenever he gets you, Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, Jerry, Aaron Wiggins. There's no miss so far. Now, that can, of course, change on a dime, but so far right now, you have to give Sam Presti an A+. You just do. And if you redrafted the draft, it's a very deep draft, so Giddey might only move to 4, but, I mean, you look at the draft right now, Cunningham, you still bet on him, Mobley, Barnes, those are the only players who you can argue are above Giddey, and Giddey has an argument to be above Barnes, in my opinion. So Giddey and Barnes kind of interchangeable there, and we'll see how Cade Cunningham actually progresses. I'm not ready to kind of panic about Cade Cunningham yet, but I think that Giddey's done in a vacuum of this season better than Cade Cunningham has so far. So I think that you should be very, very happy with how this first draft of the rebuild panned out, because as we said at the time on draft night, that was not a microwave pick, right? I made that analogy on draft night. This is not a microwave success story where you take Josh Giddey 6 and the next day you're going to be littered on the winners tabs of those winners and losers columns that come out after every draft across every sport. All right. But you played the long game. It was a pick you had to have, and it was one that has paid off so far. And that, months afterwards and years afterwards, it looks like a tremendous pick. If you rewrote those winners and losers columns, the Thunder would be clear winners. The Thunder right now, even on the Sam Vecini rankings of rookies, have 3 rookies on there now with Giddey and Mann and Jerry. I mean, this draft class could not have gone any better for the Thunder considering their poor lottery luck. And now you're buying time this season, and you're hoping to finally get those ping pong balls to go your way. And you're hoping that with lottery luck, you can do just as good as Giddey, or if you can do better than Giddey, I'd like to see that prospect better than Giddey. And your rebuild has been almost totally complete at that point. So we'll see how the ping pong balls fall. We'll see how the Thunder do in this upcoming draft. But so far, so good. This is a better foundation for a rebuild than you could have ever guessed. Again, we're only 1 year into this. This is just surface level stuff here. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But it's a heck of a start. It's a heck of a jumping point for the Thunder rebuild. Health and safety protocols for the Thunder as an update. Baisley's back. Trey Mann's back. Jerry's back. Mark is still out so far, but Isaiah Roby did enter health and safety protocols. So the only player left in health and safety protocols is Isaiah Roby. And he got in there just prior to tip-off against Minnesota. So we'll see the fallout from that, if there's any, right? Are there going to be any more players joining Isaiah Roby now that he's entered there today, fresh off of road trip to Minnesota or whatever the case is? We'll see how that fares. But as of now, it's just Roby, Mark, and Dave Bliss in the health and safety protocols. We'll see whenever the 2 coaches come back. And for Isaiah Roby, it could be any time. We have seen that with SGA, who mentioned that he had a couple non-conclusive tests, and then he had 3 straight negative tests, or I should say 1 non-conclusive, 3 straight negative tests of COVID. That's why he kind of entered the protocols on, I believe it was like Sunday afternoon, and then came right out Monday. That's what happened. We know that Wiggins had a false positive. So it could be that case. We could find out tomorrow that Roby's back, or it could be a week long as it was for Baisley and Trey Mann. So we'll just have to monitor the situation. But as of right now, the only player out is Roby. And of course, Mark and Dave Bliss will join the team back whenever they clear the health and safety protocols. But I do want to tell you right now, my good friends over at Built Bar. Built Bar is a fantastic protein bar that tastes just like a candy bar. Go to BuiltBar.com. Use the promo code LOCK15, 15% off of your next order. The new year is here, which means New Year's resolutions. If it's your resolution to get fit or eat healthier, make sure you include a Built Bar in your plan. Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, or maybe even better than a candy bar. Built Bar makes it easy to stick to your resolutions, and it tastes so good, you'll want to eat it. Unlike those other protein bars that can be chalky or waxy, or it tastes like they've been dunked in chemicals. You want to eat healthy, but you don't want it to get boring. By week 3, you might be thinking, where's the chocolate? Well, Built Bar is covered in 100% real chocolate. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 14 grams of protein. Compared that to a candy bar, which is like about 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and a dozen net carbs. Here's an idea for the new year. Take away all your secret stashes of treats around the house, at the office, in your pantry, in your car, wherever they're at. Throw them all away. They're so sugary and calorie filled. Get them out of here. Replace them with the healthy alternative of Built Bar. Built Bar is fantastic. Even if you're not a huge fan of working out, you can at least eat something that's good for you and can help you out there. That way, you can enjoy a delicious Built Bar that is almost as good as a workout. Obviously, working out half the battle is your diet, and your diet is going to be better off with Built Bar in it. And there's so many flavors to choose from: coconut, almond, peanut butter, brownie, raspberry, cookies and cream, salted caramel, mint brownie, and many more. In fact, Built Bar is always coming out with new and limited time only flavors. So check them out at built.com and see what's new. Built.com, promo code LOCK15, 15% off your next order. Built.com, promo code LOCK15, 15% off of your next order. At Built.com, 15% off your next order whenever you use the promo code LOCK15. Let's hear right now about your friends over at BetOnline.ag. Folks, BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new betting year. As we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond, BetOnline is your number one spot for the best in sports wagering action for 2022. New year and a new updated desktop and website interface. Sign up today, and you can receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using our code LOCKEDON. Our code LOCKEDON gets you a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit from football, basketball, hockey, baseball, boxing, UFC, and even your favorite casino games. Do not wait. Take advantage right now of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the best way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. BetOnline, your online sportbook experts. We are back on the Locked On Thunder podcast, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. Speaking of BetOnline.ag, after the show's over, go check out the Locked On Bets podcast, a 5-day-week podcast that gives you winners each and every day. So go help yourself bet on sports by listening to the advice of Lee Sterling and your boy Q over there at Locked On Bets. Thank you for making Locked On Thunder your first listen every single morning, every single day. We're here for you talking Thunder basketball. We've talked awards today. We've talked Gabriel Deck today. We've talked trade deadline plans today. And also, we have talked about the COVID protocol update. But now, let's check in quickly on the tank. So coming up on the podcast, though, tomorrow, we'll have a recap of the Wolves game. Friday, we'll do some draft talk and grading of the season talk. And then Saturday, a weekend episode of a recap of the Wolves game from Friday night as they play the Wolves 2 games in a row. And then Monday, we'll recap the Sunday Nuggets game, and we'll go from there. Locked On Thunder podcast, so subscribe for free across all platforms. It's a daily podcast about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, we're back here and talking about the tank. How's it going so far? Well, the Thunder are 5th in the reverse standings. The Clippers are 15th. Watch out for the Clippers, who are without Kawhi, of course, and now without Paul George. The order goes as followed: Orlando, Detroit, Houston, New Orleans, Oklahoma City, and then you got Indy, San Antonio, Portland, Sacramento, Atlanta, Minnesota, New York, Boston, Toronto, and the Thunder are a game back of 4th. And they're 4 games back of Houston for the 3rd worst odds in the NBA and the worst team in the Western Conference. So why are those 4 games that important? Well, the 3rd worst odds in the reverse standings, I should say the third worst team in the reverse standings gets the same odds as the top overall team. So you want to be bottom 3. You don't have to be 1. You don't have to be 2, but you need to be bottom 3 to get the same odds as 1 to get the top overall pick, and to best your odds to get the likes of Chet or Jamari Smith or Paulo, whoever it is you think is number 1, to get up there, you need to be top 3 to best your odds. They are 7 back of Orlando for the top overall spot. Probably not going to make up 7 games between Orlando and Detroit, but it is realistic to think that they can go and best Houston, who's only 4 games up, and Houston is a very streaky team, so who knows when they'll be having winning streaks and losing streaks throughout these next couple of months. But OKC, all in all, is doing all right with the tank. They're a game back of 4th. You know, that goes back and forth. I will say it's interesting with New Orleans about the Zion thing, because now Zion has taken his rehab and he's going on his own to rehab in Portland by himself. So could that situation linger and maybe he just doesn't play it all this year and then they just truly bottom out? What can happen there? with the Pelicans and Zion and all the rest of their team. We'll see. But the tank's doing all right. So what's, again, going to happen for this show? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the Wolves recap. Friday, we're going to dive into the draft talk at the top of the show. And then at the end of the show, we're going to give a grade to the Thunder so far this year, each and every player getting a grade, kind of like a big stock watch on Friday. But today was all about celebrating Josh Giddey's awards, all about celebrating Josh Giddey, recapping you on the news about Gabriel Deck, and updating you on the health and safety protocols. So a lot happened today. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. And always remember,
giddy up.
You gotta giddy up. You gotta
giddy up.
Come on, you gotta giddy up. Josh Giddey's for real. Josh Giddey is the truth. And we look forward to seeing how his career progresses in Oklahoma City. A lot to get to. Love doing this. Love all of you who listened. A huge year for Locked On Thunder. I just cannot thank you enough. The numbers have always gone up since I took over, and that's all a credit to you guys. So appreciate you guys a ton. Subscribe for free. Never miss an episode for free on all of the podcatchers out there, including YouTube. So until tomorrow, I'm Rylan Stiles. Follow me on Twitter at Rylan_Stiles on Twitter. And until tomorrow, be good and be good to one another.